Guys, I'm Mariana, and today I made a curriculum about creative writing, or more specifically, going from a photograph to writing. And I'm part of the organization Interns for Good, and I've made this virtual curriculum today for you guys. And as you can see, this is for ages 8 plus, but you can always go ahead and challenge yourself if you would like. All right. So just a brief summary of what we're going to be learning today. So in this lesson, students will practice narrative or creative writing while using their imagination. And I put a little note on the bottom saying that students can make this lesson more challenging by finding a photo of themselves or someone they know and recapping the story behind that photo. And you'll see what I mean in a little bit. Some skills that you might acquire from this: using your imagination while looking at a photograph, learning more about writing fictional stories, learning about places around the world, and again, if you want to challenge yourself, learning how to write a personal narrative. And again, if you don't know what I'm talking about yet, you'll see in a little bit. All right, so in a second, I'm going to be pulling up some images, and all I want you to do is for one image or maybe two images or maybe all of them, depending on which ones you want to write about, try to brainstorm for each one some possible main characters, settings, and or plot. And if you have a whiteboard, I would recommend brainstorming on there just because it's easier to erase. But if not, a piece of paper, it works just as fine. All right, so let's start with a few examples. Okay, so these pictures are a little bit more specific just because there's already a subject in the picture as well as a location, so you can't really alter those. And also there's already kind of a plot because you can kind of tell what's happening, but you can always alter it to what you want it to be about. So yeah, we're gonna start off a little bit easier. So all you have to do is come up with the plot. And feel free to pause this video if you want to take some time to do it and just come back when you're ready. All right, I'm gonna assume you guys are done by now, and we're gonna take a little bit of a detour just because I want to talk about why we're going over these pictures. All right, so we've all heard of the saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I mean, we all just proved that in the last slide by creating a story essentially from one image. And I think it's really, really insane how we can like basically convey an entire story from just one image. And so yeah, maybe when you grow up, or maybe even now, go outside, try to take some pictures, keep some memories for yourself, and also try to convey an image, try to convey a theme or message. All right, now we're gonna get a little bit more broad. We're gonna widen the scope a little bit. So here are some images where you can take the story in pretty much any direction. And again, just write down a brief summary of um, your story. Do one image, do two, do however many you want. And I'm gonna go over each image and just talk about them in case you were wondering. So I'm gonna start from the left and go to the right. Okay, so first off, in the top left, that is the love tunnel in Ukraine. And basically, this used to just be like train rails and some trees going around it. It was really nothing special. But as time went on, and as the trees were allowed to grow freely, the only thing that really disturbed their growth was the train that came through. So now it looks like a really magical tunnel. All right, next, bottom left, that is in Greece actually. And this specific part of Greece that is in the image right now is really close to the ocean. As you can see, like the ocean is right there. Um, but what's really unique about this specific part of Greece is that all of the buildings are white, and it looks really beautiful in the sunsets, as you can see. But most importantly, the food, Greek food is very, very good. So I highly recommend going there when you grow up. I also really want to go there as well. All right, in the middle is Palawan Island in the Philippines, and this was actually named the most stunning island ever once. And basically, there's a lot of exotic wildlife here. You can go diving, you can visit their shipwrecks, and the water is very, very beautiful. So also another place that I would love to visit. All right, top right is actually a place that I have visited before. This is the Jacobite train. It is located in Switzerland, and or not Switzerland, I'm sorry. It was located in Scotland. And it's the Jacobite train that you see right here. Um, actually carries real people. It's like it's an actual functioning train. But what it's most famous for is being the Hogwarts train in Harry Potter, and this bridge that you see right here is very famous from the Harry Potter movies as well. So if you love Harry Potter, I highly recommend going to Scotland because there's a bunch of Harry Potter filming sites there, and it's really cool to see. Okay, last one, bottom right. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this, but just in case you don't, this is Disneyland. It's located in California, and it's an attraction with a bunch of roller coasters and games and stuff like that. And this is actually this photo was actually taken at night when they lit everything up, so it looks really, really pretty. All right. Now you can pause the video, or if you're already done, don't pause it. Pause the video and finish your brief summaries of whatever image you want to delve more into. All right, now we're gonna go more into the actual process of writing a narrative. So one important part of writing a narrative is the imagery. So if you don't know what imagery is, it's basically when you show your reader what you're describing through descriptive language. If you don't know what I mean, I'm gonna show you guys an example. Okay, so these are two ways to write one sentence, okay? The first one is going to be a regular sentence, and then I'm going to add imagery to the second sentence, and we'll compare the two. All right, so this is the regular sentence, okay? The girl walked while she read her book. Okay? I mean, you can kind of picture what's happening, but at the same time, the image in your head is very vague. For example, you don't know what the girl looks like, you don't know what the place she's walking at looks like, and you don't know what her book looks like. There's a lot of things that you really don't know, besides the fact that there's a girl and she was walking while she read her book. Next is the sentence that I added imagery to. The girl strolled along the riverbank, her blonde hair blowing in the soft breeze as she thumbed through her book slowly. Okay, there's a lot more information here. First of all, the girl strolled along the riverbank. So we know that there was a river by wherever the girl was walking at. So that's a little bit of detail there. Next, her blonde hair blowing in the soft breeze. Okay, two things here. Number one, we know that that the girl has blonde hair, and number two, there was a soft breeze, which in my opinion, I would picture like it was probably a nice day out, not too hot, not too warm. And as she thumbed through her book slowly, because she's thumbing through her book slowly, you get kind of this relaxed vibe, very chill. Um, and yeah, so as you can see, there's a lot more information that we got from the second sentence with just a couple more words, honestly. And that's why imagery is so important when you're writing a narrative. And if you don't really understand what I'm talking about, I'm gonna link um, I'm gonna link a little bit more information in the appendix, and you can just go there after this video and look more into it yourself. Alright, so before you start writing your narrative, I just want you to check off everything on this list, alright? I'm not gonna read all the little blurbs, but basically what you need to have before you start writing. Who, the subjects of the story, what, your story's plot, when, the time period that the story takes place, as well as the time of day, and as well as like the period of time that your story occurs in, where the location, like the area that your story takes place in, or maybe it's a bunch of different places, who knows? And lastly, why. So this is basically just your conflict and solution. Okay, and if you're still having a little bit of trouble coming up with like a plot, this is just to try, like help organize your thoughts a little bit. It's just go to Google and search up story map or storyboard, and you can print it out and fill it out, or you can also just recreate it on a piece of paper. Either way works, and it really helps to prepare you to write your narrative. And again, I didn't really get too much into actually writing the narrative. If you want to learn more about that, there will be links in the appendix that you can go to, and videos that you can watch to kind of learn more. But this is our final assignment. So what I want you guys to do is to find a picture that intrigues you. So try searching up something that interests you. Maybe you really like animals, or you really like food. I don't know. Or maybe you want to talk. Maybe you want to write a story about something that's more relevant, to today, such as like maybe the COVID-19 pandemic or the Black Lives Matter protests, anything like that. Just find a picture that that catches your eye basically, and makes you want to write about it. And again, if you want to challenge yourself, you can find a picture of yourself or someone you know, or a picture that you know the full background of and story of, and rewrite like what happened. And if you want to learn more about how to write a personal narrative, I also have a link in the appendix that you can with a bunch of videos that you can watch that will teach you how to write one. All right, and this is the appendix I was talking about. So as you can see, first one is an article about what is imagery. So if you're still a little bit confused, you can read that, or if you don't want to read anything, I also have a video link that you can watch that will teach you what imagery is. Um, Third link is a playlist, a YouTube playlist that will teach you how to write imaginary narrative. Fourth link is also a YouTube playlist that will teach you how to write a personal narrative. So again, if you want to write about your own picture. And last one is just a worksheet packet if you want to practice more of taking an image and transforming it into a story. All right, and this is just a little bit about me. So hello, I'm Ariana Huang. I'm 15, actually about to turn 16, and I'm located in California. And in my free time, I love hanging out with my friends, listening to music while cleaning, and playing video games. I also really enjoy reading, and I have so many favorite books, I can't just name one, but my favorite book series is definitely the Harry Potter series, which is why I was geeking out so much about the Jacobite train earlier. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!